I was thinking earlier today, maybe I'm the toxic one. And I don't mean that I'm at fault for, or completely at fault for all the bad things that have gone in my life, all the people that I've lost. But maybe I've been wrong more than I've admitted to. Because admitting you're wrong is hard. You know, personally for me, when I'm put in a situation, especially in person with someone where I realize that I've, made them feel like any type of negative feeling, made them uncomfortable or anything like that, then I get uncomfortable. And I start thinking like, how can I change the topic? How can I like stray away from the situation? How can I ignore this? How can I make it so that I do not have to acknowledge this? And in the moment, that's the easier thing to do because you don't have to face that discomfort right then and there. But almost immediately right after, there comes another pain, and that's the fact that that other person felt that way. And especially if they told you that you did something that made them feel some type of way and you ignore it and you continue to do that enough times, people are going to walk away. You don't want to be completely alone. It's okay to be alone. It's okay to be alone by choice. I like my alone time. I like going out to eat alone. I like going out to, you know, to stores alone to just walk around. I like going to the park alone. I like going to the movies alone, bars alone, like stuff like that. I like doing stuff like that alone. It's a very nice way to be able to just find some inner peace. And it's nice. But when it isn't by your choice, when it's because, you realize that it was because you made mistakes, just like anybody else, because everybody makes mistakes. Everybody does. But not everybody admits to them. And that's what separates people, is the people that can put their pride aside and say, hey, I was wrong. I'm sorry. How can I make this right? Because I'd rather be somebody that was wrong and had to admit they were wrong, but then were able to correct that and not be wrong anymore, at least in there, than be somebody that is walking around looking like a clown, like a whole weirdo, thinking I'm right, I'm perfect. Like, we might not say I'm perfect, but our actions kind of like make people believe that that's what we genuinely think. And then have everybody looking at you and say, this person thinks this and that, but they're a whole dumbass because they're a weirdo. You don't want to be that weirdo. People are going to talk about you regardless. There's going to be people that are going to envy you. There's going to be people that are going to want to prey on your downfall. I've had people like that as well, but I have also been the toxic one. I have also been the person that couldn't admit they were wrong, say I'm sorry, that couldn't apologize, like I said. And for a lot of us, it's hard because a lot of us didn't grow up in like a household that was able to say, I'm sorry, when they were wrong, or to admit when they were wrong. And that does, stick with us into sometimes, unfortunately, adulthood. But if you realize, you know, at any point, because, you know, we love sooner rather than later, but better late than never is also good. And I want you to look in the mirror today, and say, I'm not perfect, but I love myself. Tomorrow's a new day. I'm probably going to make mistakes. But for the amount of times that I'm wrong, I'm going to correct myself and be double the amount of times right. Because it's hard, like I said, to admit that to yourself. Even much harder to be able to say it aloud. Especially when you've been raised with poor habits, involving that stuff. Be the one that breaks the cycle and doesn't continue the cycle. Because you're just as bad as them, as the people that made you feel badly growing up. Being toxic to you. If you are doing the same, especially if you realize you're doing the same and then don't do anything to fix it, don't be a bully. Because being toxic is genuinely kind of like the adult term for bully. Because if you're toxic, you're, making people feel bad and not giving a shit, and that's bad. That's bad. I've lost a lot of people because I couldn't say I'm sorry, because I was too selfish with my pride to be able to do things to correct mistakes that I had made. And it was all like a whole domino effect of my consequences. And I don't want to get to the last domino and have that fall as well, because that's me. I don't want to fall. I mean, permanently, you know? I don't want that. Sometimes I kind of tell myself that I do, but I do my best to stray away from those thoughts, as you should too if you have them sometimes. You don't want to be 60 years old and the most important people in your life don't want to be in your life anymore because of the way that you are and refuse to change. You know, like, we'll be on X and we'll be watching videos of people like those entitled customers that will realize they're wrong and continue to berate the worker, and we look at them and we think, wow, this person is a piece of shit. We're technically doing the same if we are making our friends, family, partners, you know, feel some type of way that isn't good, and we just continue to do it over and over again without caring about how they feel. I've done that. I don't want to do that anymore because I don't want to hurt people anymore. I don't want to be the toxic person that keeps losing everybody against his will anymore. It's never too late. You could be 70, you could be 80, 90, you could be on your final day. Apologize. Pride is a good thing because we have to have a bit of it, but pride isn't meant to be a perfect, squeaky clean window. It's meant to have cracks because that means we're growing. Just do your best to remember that you can always do better, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you made mistakes, you can always correct them one way or another. So, I don't really know how to end it off, but just know I believe in you, and blessings your way. Bye.